Kamala Harris makes a campaign stop in La Crosse. And Adam Fravel's jury trial is officially underway.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off tonight. Trial is underway for Adam Fravel, the man accused of killing Winona mother Madeline Kingsbury. News 8 Now reporter Grace Monk is live in Mankato with the details. Grace.
Stand today in Blue Earth County after a week and a half of jury selection. Earlier, state and defense attorneys presented their opening statements to jurors. The state portrayed Kingsbury as a loving mother in a bad relationship. Fravel's attorney counteracted by saying she has secret truths. Officer Ethan Sense and investigator Anita Sabota from the Winona Police Department were witnesses. The state presented body cam footage containing initial interviews between investigators and Fravel as evidence. During an interview, investigators questioned Fravel about his relationship with Kingsbury. When asked about Gabby Petito, a woman that was strangled to death in 2021, Fravel said he was infatuated with the case, telling Kingsbury she would end up like that as a joke. Sabota also noted that Fravel had scratches on his face and neck during interviews. The prosecution will continue its presentation tomorrow morning. Live in Mankato, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, Grace. A man is in critical condition after an early morning shooting in Winona. Winona police say they responded to reports of gunfire on West 10th Street around 4 a.m. Officers found a man with a gunshot wound who was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. A possible suspect is in custody for questioning. Police say there is no threat to the community and they are investigating.
Well, high fire danger, even extreme fire danger across many of the areas this afternoon, given the ongoing drought conditions, the very dry stretch of weather we've had since September, and the gusty winds and low relative humidity valleys. So west of the river is where the worst of it is. East, we've kind of went back up to high danger right now. If we look at our red flag warnings are still out till about 7 p.m. for areas west. We'll still see breezy conditions, but the relative humidity will start increasing a little bit. East, those yellow areas are elevated, more like a special weather statement saying not quite as bad, but still something to take a notice of. Otherwise, we go out throughout this evening, really a mild evening overall. That wind will continue through this evening at 10 to 15 miles per hour, getting back down to 54. So still kind of breezy overall for all locations, only getting down to like 53 at 11 p.m. So it's going to be a mild night minus the low relative humidity. There it is right now. Some areas we're into the teens, 15% in Red Wing. So it'll give you an idea how dry it is. And wind speeds, further west you go, the higher speeds are up there, especially into Iowa, Minnesota area. Overnight, we're going to see temperatures hold up onto the 40s with that wind increasing, or excuse me, not increasing, but maintaining. It'll be a mild start and will break down. It's going to be a warm stretch of weather here. In fact, we might get close to 80 once again. So we'll break that down and show if you got any type of precipitation in the forecast.
The madness, I can't take it, Greg.
Yeah, it's going to be warm. Warm again.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Kamala Harris was back in La Crosse today, rallying voters at UWL. Today's visit marks her second stop in La Crosse this year, but her first as the presidential nominee. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall is live at UWL with the latest. Jeremy.
And Emily, Harris was back here in April talking to healthcare providers about the new federal standards for nursing home staff. But today was different. Today was about the race for the White House. She started in Milwaukee, made her way here, spoke to more than 3,000 people here at UWL, and now she's on her way to Green Bay, where she's making another campaign stop. Now, during her speech here, it was her first one, as you mentioned, as the presidential nominee. She highlighted expanding Medicare, expanding affordable housing, and making our economy better.
Together we will build in that future what I call an opportunity economy, which is where every American has an opportunity to own a home, to start a business, to build wealth. Under my plan, and I know this is a big deal for the young people here, we will bring down the cost of housing.
Joining Harris today is billionaire Mark Cuban, a known supporter of the Harris-Walz campaign. Cuban is calling the election a battle for entrepreneurship and small businesses. And And Cuban says if Trump wins, most of the things we buy could go up as much as 60%. He says, unlike Harris, Trump doesn't believe in growth with small businesses. Reporting from UWL, Jeremy Wall, News 8 Now. Emily?
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Wisconsin GOP also released a statement about Vice President Harris's visit. The statement reads in part, Harris bragged about Bidenomics and declared it a success. Now she returns to Wisconsin, expecting us to ignore what our bank statements and monthly budgets make clear, that we were better off 4 years ago under President Trump. In a Zoom call, they also highlighted Harris's economic policies. Early voting is about to begin, and local lawmakers want to ensure residents are informed. Former Governor Tommy Thompson was at Onalaska City Hall today to highlight the importance of early voting. The governor was joined by several GOP candidates, including Ryan Hipsch. Early voting in Wisconsin will start on October 22nd. A La Crosse business owner is casting his rod for a good cause. Al Lewis, a Rotary Club member and owner of Designing Jewelers, hosted his annual Al's Muskie Challenge. The event raises money for youth organizations in the Coulee region. This year they raised over $200,000, surpassing their goal of $100,000. Lewis says he appreciates the time volunteers spend with young people as they develop into our future leaders.
Don't realize how much they do. They expend a lot of time, a lot of energy, making sure today's youth have a chance, because today's youth are tomorrow's leaders.
Now, people can donate all year round. Anyone interested in donating can head to news8000.com. We'll have a link available. California residents are taking cover. How the state is teaching earthquake safety when we come back.
When you see Stacey Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
As a working mom, I'm feeling the pain of inflation. Everything costs more these days because of Biden and Kamala's wasteful spending. And while we pay more, they're giving away our hard-earned money to illegal immigrants. Tammy Baldwin is just as bad. Baldwin voted to give amnesty and taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. She even gave them government stimulus checks and free health care. We can't afford Tammy Baldwin and her handouts to illegal immigrants.
I'm Eric Kovdy, and I approve this message.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland,
as in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face
with every meal made just for you.
It really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor. And the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit HometownChevy.com.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Kovdy doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hudvy said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
When you see Stacey Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
People across California dropped, covered, and held on this morning for the state's annual Great Shakeout earthquake drill. While small earthquakes are a nearly everyday occurrence in California, officials want residents and businesses to prepare for the big one so they'll know what to do when the ground starts violently shaking.
This is what Shakeout is all about, is practicing, having that mindset. Where am I going to go? Where is my safe place? To look around and see, is there glass windows? I don't want to be there. Is it a fake wall? I may not want to be there.
More than 10 million people across the state participated in the drill that happened at 10:17 this morning. California's last earthquake causing serious damage was the 1994 Northridge quake. The 6.7 magnitude shaker north of Los Angeles resulted in at least 72 deaths, thousands of injuries, and damage that reached into the billions. Facing addiction, we'll tell you which weight loss drug can help when we come back.
And we got above average temperatures for an extended period of time. In fact, we might see 80 degrees. Unfortunately, no precipitation really. We'll break down what the temperatures look like, and we'll actually return to more October-like conditions. We're coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
The greatest meal deal for your buck? Hardee's Original Bag. Just $5.99. Loaded with your choice of 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink. All for just $5.99. Hardee's. Goodness in the making.
Let's talk about Rebecca Cook. She's a political operative. She's worked for Defund the Police radicals across this country.
Cook spent millions getting Mandela Barnes elected, the most anti-law enforcement candidate in Wisconsin's history.
You remember Barnes, the guy who said reducing prison populations was sexy?
Defund the police radicals make it harder for us to keep you safe.
That's why we can't support Rebecca Cook, because she'll never support us.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Today at Wesco in Sparta, it's interest-free. Free! 24 months interest-free, 36 months interest-free, even 48 months interest-free on everything from beautiful furniture for every room and premium mattresses to flooring and brand-name appliances. Choose the home furnishings you want. Then Wesco lets you buy interest-free to suit your needs. 24 months interest-free, 36 months interest-free, or even 48 months interest-free. It's an interest-free for all today at Wesco in Sparta.
Here in Wisconsin, my patients trust me with their personal medical decisions and never ask, what does my congressman think? That doesn't stop Derek Van Orden. Van Orden calls himself 100% pro-life, compared abortion to genocide. And Van Orden said he opposed abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. Your personal medical decisions belong to you, not him. And Derek Van Orden doesn't belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Every morning in hardworking America, Hardee's biscuit makers rise to bake our original made-from-scratch biscuits. Famous since 1977 and still the greatest goodness around. Find the best deals on the Hardee's app.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
A large study finds weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro could help with addictions. Researchers saw 40% fewer opioid overdoses and a 50% drop in alcohol intoxications among people who had a prescription compared to those who did not. This class of weight loss drugs may already treat or prevent diabetes, obesity, heart disease, stroke, and sleep apnea. The study spanned nearly 10 years and tracked health data for 1.3 million people. On CBS Mornings, CBS News contributor Dr. Celine Gounder said more research is needed before the FDA approves the drugs for addiction treatments.
Well, these drugs are working on the brain, and we don't know what the long-term effects of having this kind of hormone impacting your brain would be.
Other risks include cancer, pancreatitis, gallbladder, and kidney damage, as well as depression and suicidal thoughts. Well, dry weather and winds are making for high fire danger in our area. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Greg Barnhart for the latest.
Yeah, given that we've had an extended dry period, in fact, you go back to September 1st, some areas are like almost 3 inches below average. And it's been a very dry stretch in October too. So that's kind of contributed. But we've also had a stretch now of low relative humidity. That means very dry atmosphere in place. The gusty winds here that were in place also. So that's why the red flag warnings out till about 7 p.m. Special weather statement to the east of the river indicates that conditions aren't quite as bad as to the west, but still that's out till 7 p.m. too. All the areas really still remain very dry, and something to keep a note of even through tomorrow. Big picture shows the winds are picking up because we have a system out to the west that's beginning to push into the Intermountain area. Eventually that will get closer to our area, but ahead of that, that is pulling the winds up. It's pulling a lot of dry air up too from the southern plains up to our area, so that's what's contributing to the conditions. But that's the system that we'll be tracking. Unfortunately, it's not going to be that impressive when it comes through, but we do have milder conditions. Those winds will continue a little bit overnight, keeping those temperatures a little bit more mild than we've had recently. Breezy and warmer Friday, maybe not quite as strong with the winds, but still very dry in the afternoon hours. And this weekend, warm and less wind, but definitely very warm. And once again, in fact, we can see temperatures getting close to 80 on Sunday, so it's going to be well up there. These are the temperatures, high temperatures for tomorrow, upper 60s, low 70s, so a couple degrees warmer than we've had for Thursday. All in all, that's about 10 degrees or even 15 above average. Now, if we track that system out to the west, it's going to keep the winds coming ahead of it, so Friday. But Friday, we're also going to pull up a little bit more moisture, so the relative humidity in the afternoon won't drop as far. Now, as this gets closer, we'll see more cloud cover come into full factor as we go into Saturday and eventually as this passes through. But notice there's not a lot of precipitation either at 7 a.m. as it's starting to come through the area right now. Maybe a little bit of precip for far northwest Wisconsin, but as this does come through Saturday, the only thing really you're going to see is probably cloud cover and a little change in the wind direction minus that, and that's really it. And then going to Sunday, we're going to actually have clearing skies, and there's not really much cool air behind it. In fact, the temperatures are going to warm up behind this system too. So unfortunately, it looks impressive on satellite right now to the west, but when it comes through here, it pretty much falls apart. So if you're looking for rainfall, none really much to be in factor with that system coming through. Wind speeds, as I mentioned, they'll stay pretty much in that 10 to 15 probably overnight. They'll wake up in that category, and then by the time we get to noon, we should be around 15, maybe get some close to 20. I don't think it'll be widespread as we saw today. And then in the afternoon for high school football, we'll have some breezy conditions, but overall still nice conditions. Relative humidity does improve, morning into 50%, around that range. Afternoon, we get back down into the 30s, so it's not as much 20s and teens that we saw probably today, but still very dry out there too. So don't want to be doing any type of burning activity going on. And as you look at the weekend forecast, it is definitely going to be nice and warm if you're looking for that. We're potentially looking for a few 80s there coming in Sunday. So another warm weekend and not much precipitation in the forecast for the next 7 days. Overall temperatures, we do cool down next week behind a system that might give us a little rain Monday night. Otherwise, we'll cool back down to where we should be by the middle of the week. But enjoy this warm and dry stretch of weather as it continues this weekend. In fact, once again, we could see 80 on Sunday.
As much as we're enjoying your tie today?
Yes, of course.
It's fabulous. Thank you, Greg. Coming up in sports, the Packers are looking to fix their woes at kicker. Hear from the newest member of the team and why he's appreciative of his latest opportunity in the NFL. Jacob is up next.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
Liberal Rebecca Cook. She's cooked up quite a story about herself. The truth? Cook is a slick political operative who pocketed almost $200 grand electing Democrat extremists. Cook supported radicals pushing open borders, defunding police, and ending cash bail. No wonder New York radical AOC is spending big money to elect phonies like Cook. Rebecca Cook. A liberal recipe for disaster. Strategic Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Phones were made to help us connect, yet somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic.
Don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else.
Ironic.
Ironic. But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Traffic jam.
Ugh, and I'm already late.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
The Harris-Baldwin border policy puts Wisconsin families at risk. 2 children stabbed to death, an illegal alien charged with their murder, a mother sexually assaulted, her daughter abused, a Venezuelan gang member here illegally charged.
I think we're probably spending too much, throwing too much money on our southern border.
Tammy Baldwin's wrong on the border, and Wisconsin families are paying the price. Restoration PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
There are only 3 NFL games this week featuring 2 teams with at least 4 wins up to this point in the season. That includes the Packers hosting the Houston Texans. And many had this game circled when the schedules came out with so much young talent on both sides. But one of the storylines entering Sunday is the new kicking situation for Green Bay as they recently signed Brandon McManus. Now, McManus is cleared to play after an investigation into an alleged sexual assault case, and he says he's ready to move on and make kicks for the green and gold.
I'm just happy the matter's been resolved. You know, like I said, it's been difficult, but just continue to try to keep my head down, work hard. You know, like I said, hope for that opportunity again. Like I said, extremely thankful that there's someone out there that's willing to give me another chance. And like I said, super excited to be here and help this team hopefully get to the next level.
And in 2 days, Wisconsin will look to take down Northwestern. The Wildcats have played the Badgers tough over the last decade, with each team winning 5 games in the last 10 meetings. Last year, the Badgers fell at home by 14. And safety Hunter Wohler says there is a little bit of extra motivation for this year's contest.
Always a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, especially when you lose at home. It's never a good feeling. So yeah, there's a bit of a chip on our shoulder, and just understanding that there is history, and I mean we play them almost every single year, so it's nothing different. But at the end of the day, it's another game, and once the ball goes down on Saturday, we have to just play, and everything else goes out the window.
The Badgers are in search of their first 3-game win streak of the year. Kickoff for that one set for 11 a.m. And today, news dropped that Tony Bennett, head coach of the Virginia men's basketball team and former assistant at Wisconsin under his father Dick Bennett, and Bo Ryan, will announce his retirement tomorrow at a press conference. Tony also played for his father at UW Green Bay. He was set to begin his 16th season at the helm of the Cavaliers program. Virginia made 10 NCAA tournament appearances under him, and he led the team to a national championship back in 2019. But back to the Packers. You're wearing the green today. I don't mean to draw a line in the sand.
I just realized that.
But it's a big game. Will you be watching? What are your feelings?
Yeah, of course I'll be watching. I know I have transitioned into kind of Packers territory, but I will be wearing more blue on Sunday going for the Texans.
She did pick the Texans.
It's going to be a great game, though. Texans are 5-1. Packers are 4-2. Yep. Yeah, so
one of the best ones of the
we'll
weekend.
see. We'll see. It's going to be a good one. Okay, another look at your forecast right after this.
Stories are told on our Instagram at WKBT News 8. Or you can always find us at news8000.com.
At Blaine's Farm & Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. These special buy men's neoprene boots, $59.99 while supplies last. Hit the road with a fresh Blaine's Gold automotive battery starting at $114.99. And stay warm with Easy Heat fuel pellets, just $4.99. Gear up for the hunt and save at Blaine's Farm & Fleet.
Eric Hovde has a problem with the truth. Time and again, his ads have been called false. He's a desperate candidate, willing to say anything. But here's what's true. Eric Hovde has a plan to slash Social Security 28%, Medicare 25%, veterans benefits 40%, all to spend $4 trillion on tax breaks for rich guys like himself. Eric Hovde's lying, and he's not for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More mattresses. Did you know you spend a third of your life sleeping? So you better have the best mattress you possibly can. And we have those here at King Furniture with a huge selection to choose from in every price range. Lay down and relax. Take the time to find the exact mattress you want because you're going to be sleeping on this for a while.
King Furniture.
Nice people, nice furniture.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
What is a hero? Not the kind from comic books and movies, saving the day. We're talking about everyday heroes, those with a special kind of courage or ability, those saving the day, one person at a time. News 8 Now wants to find those heroes and thank them for bettering our community. Go to news8000.com, click on Features, then Hometown Heroes to nominate someone you feel is truly a hometown hero.
All right, tonight we still got the fire issues going on to about 7, but the winds will remain kind of breezy overnight, so that'll keep the temperatures up too. We're looking at more 40s as you wake up for Friday. A warm Friday, breezy still, fire concerns, but then a very warm weekend with potentially 80 on Sunday and the next chance of rain, maybe Monday night, but that's low.
Yep, and then tonight is a special night too.
Superman.
It's the largest moon of the year, the last one. So get out, we have clear skies tonight to see it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at 10.